Hello again and welcome back to another episode of Shallow Thoughts and Deep Shit. I'm Jefferson Lambert and I'll be your host for this atrocity as I journey through the mind of a serial misanthrope. If you want, you could rate the show, subscribe, and follow. And you could also follow me on X, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and check out the website at www.shallowthoughtsanddeepshit.com. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get started, shall we? The lie is falling. In the autumn of 2023, I read yet another article on my phone about the upcoming winter and how nasty and devastating it was going to be for all of us in the Northeast. I don't know how many years I've read similar articles or heard bold predictions by weather Nostradamuses. The article used words like severe, brutal, relentless, vicious, ferocious, and then threw in some big weather words like bomb cyclones and bombogenesis and polar vortex and El Nino and other stupid, idiotic weather terms designed to instill fear in people. Just to be clear, rain is rain, wind is wind, cold is cold, and snow is still snow. Call it anything you want, but it's still pretty simple. Here's a fact. After the bold early warning prediction I read back in September, they made it sound like winter here in New York this year was going to be an untamed beast. The reality is, winter was just a little kitten. Not good, not bad, cold. Well, it is winter after all. And yes, gasp, it did snow a couple of times. Oh my God. Since the invention of the cell phone, this has been like the 8th time I read an article like that in the fall. The people who write them are idiots, and the people who open them and read them are idiots too, including me. I think most of us agree that meteorologists can hardly predict the weather in a 7-day period, never mind months in advance. Meteorologists are mostly terrible at their jobs, and even with today's technology are mediocre at best. Predicting the weather has not improved one iota in the last 60 years. It's impossible to be accurate, and it is basically just guesswork with a touch of luck. Anyway, back to the Chicken Little articles about winters in the Northeast. Please just stop. Stop spewing this alarming, dreadful, fear-mongering drivel that erupts from your tiny brain and ends up as words for the masses to read. There's so many of these weather theorists on the internet that it isn't even suitable for the blank, expressionless readers of the National Enquirer. You can't predict the weather from months afar. You have zero technology to reinforce your statements. You have no proof, and you're actually wasting your time by trifling up images of winter hurricanes, snowdrifts 60 feet high, and science fiction-like fantasies of winter weather ending life as we know it. The sad part is, you have no accountability and base your stories off old wives' tales, guesswork, and superstitious garbled bullshit. Just stop it. Winter in the Northeast has been happening for, about 34 million years now. Every autumn, the leaves fall off the trees, and in November, December, the temperature drops. And yes, when precipitation happens when it's cold, it fucking snows. It's not an act of God, it's nothing new, and it's going to happen probably for the next 34 million years as well. The weather is not magically getting worse or any better. What is getting worse is the writers with free access to the devolving digital sludge known as the World Wide Web. Somehow, there's always someone out there trying to instill fear into people, and it's just way more accessible now, and I'm so sick of hearing how we're going to be pummeled by winter every year. Yes, it'll be cold. Yes, it might be windy. And yes, it might snow. No need to panic, folks. The air will warm again, the wind will stop, and yes, even the snow will melt. Our lives will not be negatively affected like these moronic articles want you to think. It's winter time, It's good sometimes, it's bad sometimes, and it comes and it surely does go. You cannot run from it unless you move away from it. San Diego, Phoenix, Orlando, and places like that aren't subjected to these senseless, unwarranted, and stupid predictions by these psychotic writers of weather fiction and intelligent, insulting articles. These people write things that made people believe that in February of 2024, we'd be living in a permanent ice age, all huddled inside of a frozen Arctic igloo. Newsflash, there were daffodils starting to bloom in February because winter has been a pleasant dream instead of the offensive nightmare I read about last fall. The sky is not falling, Chicken Littles, and even if it did, it too shall pass.